Welcome to London. Can you tell
Thank
me
you.
a little bit about what brings you here? Sana mentioned that you're involved with the British Asian Trust, so how long you've been involved with them and what's on the agenda?
I've been admiring their work since a while now. This is the first time I'm going to be part of their event here in London, and I'm super excited because what they do is absolutely admirable and very pertinent at a time like at times like these, because we generally don't talk about mental health, and this
Right.
is what they're doing. They're raising awareness on mental health, which is an invisible stigma, and it's stigmatized to the point where even the people going through mental health crisis are unaware and would not want to agree that they are going through something. So I felt that what my values are, and when I do charity back in Pakistan, it is very in line with what they do here. So their aim is to fundamentally transform the mental health landscape by dis destigmatizing and raising awareness for mental health, and promoting accessibility and affordability for all the people who can't afford it, for all the people who are unaware of where they can get this help.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to talk specifically about, mental health because as a society, whether it's Pakistan, the wider South Asia, obviously things need to change when it comes to approaching the subject because as you said it's very stigmatized. So
Yeah.
can you speak to that a little bit? What do you think we need to change, and as an artist do you feel that film and TV projects do justice to this topic?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel that we are not addressing this issue uh, with a lot of responsibility when it comes to the media, and I think it's time that we talk about it with a lot of seriousness, because it's literally like, because of the low awareness and limited services, which means about 90% of the people who need the treatment cannot access support. They are not being portrayed in the right light, and it really puts them at a risk of further health issues, poverty, and exclusion. I feel that if we take responsibility, and it's all about being aware of these issues, and if we're aware that how traumatic these events can be for people, we will, inshallah, be able to take this forward and take it a notch up into how the severity of this issue is. And I think, people, uh, just because they cannot see it and it's an invisible health issue, we are unaware of so many people who are going through that. And I feel that media holds a lot of responsibility
Okay.
in promoting and mirroring what the society is really going through. And I feel that the British Asian Trust, just by creating awareness and talking about it, and having people like Mahira, Sanam, or I come here and represent their idea, their vision, is something which is really needed, because we have so many millions of people following us, uh, having their eyes and ears on us, that if we don't talk about it, who will? So I feel that being part of the entertainment industry, it lays a lot of responsibility on us as entertainers to help organizations like the British Asian Trust to promote awareness and to create that awareness on mental health, for sure.
No, thank you. Sarwat, and you mentioned, these are two very big names, as well as yours. Mahira, Sanam, yourself, working with the British Asian Trust to spread awareness about this issue. But how do you take a subject like mental health into your TV and film projects? Do you talk to filmmakers? Do you talk to writers? I mean, you guys have incredible influence. So aside from doing like social media awareness on your pages, on your respective Instagrams and Facebook pages, how do you really influence the industry?
I feel that if it's something that you really feel close to and you really feel like you're responsible for that change, I think that change can come in any narrative that you're part of, whether that's a film, whether that's a television production, or a web series that you're doing. I feel that if everybody is plays their part and is responsible on this subject, we can really bring about that change because millions of people are watching those narratives. Now, there's only enough attention that you want to give to a saas bahu and mazloom se sakti vi aurat, which is also actually mental health awareness, and we need to talk about that. I would say something like Joyland also talks about, in a way, the stigma that we have in our society. It is how Joyland is trying to talk about economic empowerment of the woman. So does British Asian Trust. So it totally it totally depends on how much you want to take this forward. Now, as an actor, as a celebrity, I feel that I've opened an art school which does talk about, and it has mainstream. It's an inclusive school, so it's got differently able children who do suffer from a lot of stigma, who do suffer from a lot of mental health problems, and it's not just them; it's the families that are around these kids. So I feel that every individual, every star should take up this very personally and take this on as a responsibility.
No, I totally agree. And on the subject of Joyland, I mean, it's won a lot of praise and critical acclaim, but it was also, part of the subject of a very, very serious controversy back home, and it's quite heartbreaking considering, the kind of boundary breaking film that it was. How did it make you feel? Both, the praise and the controversy, and how much it took to actually get the movie in the cinema.
I mean, the fact that we were at Cannes and we won the jury prize, that was an amazing feeling. Back home, I do understand that people jumped to the gun and they hadn't seen the film, and they had judgments passed on social media. But it was very supportive, and it felt really good when the government, once they sat down with a bench of 8 people who were viewing the film, they came back and they said that there's nothing wrong with this. So we really don't know why people had these petitions signed for being against Joyland. So it felt like, wow, there are people in the right places understanding how important this subject is. And it's not just the trans woman playing a, a strong character. That was the power, that was the problem. But it was just telling the truths of our society, which may burn your heart, but they are there. So it felt good that the government was taking our side and it did understand the kind of subject that we want to push forward. But at the same time, it was kind of funny because a lot of people hadn't seen the film and they had opinions. But I guess that also worked in our favor because then everyone was talking about it. So I think just having it run in the Sindh province and in the KPK province did wonders for us. Islamabad had the only province that did not play Joyland was Punjab, and it was a Punjabi film, so that was a little bit of a heartbreak. But at the same time, I feel that Joyland also, like British Asian Trust, Joyland also talks about those things which are very stigmatized.
No, that's well put. And you're often linked with these impressive yet controversial projects. Like you did Churails before this, which was also, I mean, a lot of the themes there were about mental health, about women who have
Yes,
this generational trauma, and would you
yes.
say you have a penchant for this controversial stuff? Like, do you know that it's going to blow up when you start doing it?
I think, Atika, it's time we speak our truth. And as women, we need to push that boundary because it's been a while. We've been, pinned down to be just what the society wants us to be. So I think it's yeah, I love playing the uh, like somebody just put it, I am the bully and not the bullied. It's time we talk about these things. And I feel that 20 years of my career, I've played the Mazloom se Sakti Bhi Aurat. And now that I'm an advocate of women's rights and I talk about, women having access to laws that protect them, I can't go back and play the Mazloom se Sakti Bhi Aurat. So I think it's time that we talk about things without having any, without pleasing people. How British Asian Trust is taking that chance of talking about mental health awareness is wonderful because the time is right. And these are not just conversations that should be left in the doctor's office. It should be a regular dining table conversation, just like how we talk about women's rights. Mental health awareness is as important, and it should be talked to in your house, with your family, with your children, young children who are growing up, especially.
Thank you. So I'm just going to ask you one last question very
Yeah.
quickly. Is there anything interesting that you are working on? I'm sure there's lots of interesting stuff. Is there anything that you can talk about with us? What are you up
Atika, at the moment, there could be a script that I'm looking at, but I'm not really sure because uh, and I can't talk about it much. But yeah, I mean, right now, my attention and my time and my devotion is all for the inclusive art school that I run.
Okay.
Also, because I feel that there is such a dearth for parents in Pakistan to be able to send their child for developing skills. All the schools my children or other children are going to, it's great curriculum, but they are not focusing on developing skills, developing self-awareness. And I feel that the more I get into it, the more reason I feel that I need to stay locked on to this vision, because uh, it's really important that parents, teachers, the medical people, people in education, we all need to sit down and talk about giving skills to our children. Because in this day and age where there's a lot of, there are kids who have amazing degrees in their hands, but they don't have a job. But only if they had a skill, they would be able to be an entrepreneur, to start their own business. So that's where my focus is right now. And I say to a lot of people that, hey, I'm not a celebrity and I'm an art teacher, because it makes me feel like I'm making that change on the grounds that, it where it matters the most. So hopefully you'll see me again kicking some butt. But at the moment, I feel that right now I don't have anything prominent to say that, hey, this is what I'm doing, and just, look forward to that.